Welcome to UrbanHood, your learning platform.
So I am Mushi Bhuiyan. I'm with the Urban Food organization. Urban Food is a non-profit organization where we help the relay for humanity cause. You can go to our website, you can take a look at it. We are a 501(c)(3) organization. And Urban Hood is the sister organization for Urban Food Alliance, where our focus on Urban Hood is education. We are teaching people on financial education, especially in investment areas. And our goal is if you make money in the stock market and just make extra money, you donate to our charity, support our cause. Okay, and at the same time as we started doing this, and we there are certain things we do. We have memberships, and we'll share with you that the all the membership we the money we collect through this education, it goes towards the covering the paid services, then goes to our charity. So before we go further, please make sure that you read this disclaimer. Everything we are sharing educational purpose only. We are not offering any financial advice. As an investor, we want you to do your own due diligence. Make sure if you lose money, Urbanhood is not responsible for your loss. Moving on to those who is new with us, these are the things we do currently here in central New Jersey. We are located in Princeton, New Jersey area. We do this every weekly basis. You can go to our website, you can see that things have perishable, non-perishable food. We offer every food. Even like last night we took care of some blankets. People were cold, they needed some warm jackets and blankets. We get late night call, hey, we if there is anything we can do it, which with the generous volunteers and the donors, we are able to take care of them. So as you can see that here is three part of the thing what we do with Urbanhood. Number one is we always want you make sure that you have skills. Many of us in this room are here that you didn't start your career as a trader or investor. Throughout life that you had some extra money that you wanted to invest, and then when you wanted to invest, the people say in the stock market is a gambling. It is a gambling if you do not know what you are doing. And most of the people lose money in stock market. So our goal is here to give you the skills, at the same time share with you what we do, how some of us doing very well in the market. I myself retired 3 years ago from the corporate world. And since then, I started Urban Food Alliance. This is a nonprofit who are feeding the needy. At the same time, I had to find a way to not to rely on donation from people. And that's when I not only started trading myself, I created this organization, Urban Hood, where I said, okay, I am going to be trading. I'm going to be sharing with people what I do, how I make money. And I open up even my portfolio with the people like this is what I made. Look, this is how I did it. Hence, I have a lot of great friends that came along with me. At the same time, they are also today, some of them are day traders, some of them are long-term traders, some of them are swing trader. They are helping the community. Together, we all make money. So here we get as we are getting paid services, then we get those paid tools that cost you money. Today, our monthly base cost is over $2,000 to all the paid materials. We use it for research purpose. We use also for alerts purpose, alert services in a buy and hold. So using all those information, we do those research, use, and then we pass it to our paid members to different tier level. If you go to our website, urbanhood.org, you are going to see the membership. On the membership, you'll see three tier. There is a free tier, there is a paid, silver, gold, platinum. The difference between silver and gold is one is do it or yourself DIY, do it yourself model. The other one is gold is like you managed that we tell you when to buy, when to sell, and we give you those kind of signal and make sure we coach you down the road. That's gold. And the platinum is like you have everything plus you have monthly basis one-on-one coaching and some private, more professional level training and strategies in the other one. Okay, so that's happened on this one. As together, what we do, we just not only make money in the market, we try to protect our hard-earned money investing in stock market. Now I'm going to stop this. At least that gives those who is new with us, you have some idea. If you go to our website, you are going to see that on the upper right side we have all this live link that where you can connect, and you'll see that in a lot of videos, all the stuff what we do, we share in our YouTube. So it's to start with those who is new, you do not have to be any paid or any of them. You just go to subscribe this and then watch those free trainings. And then what you can do every day, what we try to do, we try to give you one or two tickers. You see services, stock of the day, you come in and you are going to see the daily tickers, and then what we share one or two tickers for you. So here, one of the way we do this, we let you know support means what's the price you need to buy, you are looking to buy. Register means this can go like that high, right? That kind of caps for the day or week. And here alert swing means you can buy it and keep it for overnight or a week, a day or the week until it touches that. And stop loss is the one where if let's say stock doesn't go in your favor, then we just tell you that take your loss. But typically our success rate of this kind of daily alert is over 75%, that we keep track of all those, since month of June that we started tracking all the success rate. So that kind of gives you an idea that what's the rate, and anybody want to learn more about it, we can always find out with the paid members. And here you can see on the right side our live room, the Telegram and meetups. On the meetups, it gives you all this event every day. Tomorrow we are going to do a real estate. Every Monday we do something about real estate. And then this coming Tuesday, we are going to do cryptocurrency. So we started a crypto lab from last week, and this week also we are going to do crypto. So every Tuesday night we do this. You can find out in all the details from those meetups. Okay. Now the next, what I want to tell you that let's talk about the market this week. So those who already know that the last week was short week, it was 3.5 days. The Thursday was short day. This coming week is also going to be another short week because of New Year's. At the same time, not that many volume you're going to see. So what is that means to you, those who is looking to trade? Man, means the volume is, because of the volume is going to be so low, means that be careful, because those who used to see that, whenever you do a buy sell order right away get executed, now it's going to take some time. So if you'd be trading regularly before, for example, $1,000, think of that reducing your amount of trade size, come to $500, because there is not enough volume. At the same time, if there might be some deals, you can find it. We'll share with a couple of tickers today. You can take a look at it, but take advantage of it, because year of 2021 is going to be very exciting. A lot of things are going to happen. When things happen, hopefully things going to be slow down. And based on what we have seen 2020, 2021 is much promising. We know that we're dealing with something unseen. Vaccine is there. The number of the vaccine rollout and getting FDA approval is also getting better. The whole world is getting locked down. At the same time, we with the use of technology, we are able to figure out how we can conduct the business. So moving to this, like what happened this week, that as far as economic activity, if you look at it, Monday, there isn't anything really exciting happening. Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing. Thursday is just a bank holiday, and Friday is also bank holiday. But although it's a bank holiday, at the same time, stock market is going to be full day this time. So remember, stock market full this time. Okay, full day meaning last time it was half day. This time Thursday till 4 o'clock market is going to be up. So that's at least 4 full days on the market. Those who already has options, just be careful on the option side. Options, especially it is 4 days and there won't be enough volume. So don't go after too much lotto if you are thinking to do lotto. Okay. As far as going to more review and go details, I have a couple tickers that at my hand I'm going to share with you later. But I know today the developer was kind enough to prepare enough content, so I'm going to give the floor to developer and let him share his perspective, and then at the end I'm going to come back. Okay, developer, floor is yours.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Mushi. I'm going to start sharing my screen shortly with everyone. Um, so bear with me while I get everything set up. Okay, so can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So welcome everyone to another Sunday Market Talk. It's been quite a eventful year, especially for those of you that have been with UFA for quite some time. Thank you guys for sticking around. And for those of you that are new, we look to make some more memories with you as well. All in all, the purpose of these Sunday Market Talks, especially what I do, is to take a look at, the technical aspect of, these certain tickers, certain companies, and see what they're doing, and just what is on my watch for this upcoming week, right? So obviously right now we're seeing a lot of things that are gapping up. There's I believe the AstraZeneca vaccine is effective towards a new strain, right? That's a positive catalyst. And then I think we're also seeing Trump signed the $600 stimulus check package. So that's obviously, as you can see, the futures are bouncing. So let's take a look at the E-mini futures. We're approaching resistance around 3715. Obviously, as you can see, we've been getting a nice push the past few hours. If we get a nice little break above this, I think we're going to continue into the morning. But that's that. But once again, similar to what Mushi said, if you guys do trade often, or if you are looking to trade, just be careful this week. We are experiencing some low volume to end the week. So just keep that in mind. If you are looking to trade, just manage your risk properly. Next, let's take a look at where is it? The Qs, right? We're going to take a look at the triple Qs. What we're seeing is, once again, in the overnight session, we're seeing a nice little gap up. We're currently trading at 311.20 in the after hours. All in all, I'm seeing some resistance around 312. So, once again, we are likely to gap up in the morning, but anything can happen overnight. So let's just be mindful of that. Although if we do get a break above 312, that is a chance to play it to the upside. So that's that as far as the triple Qs. And let me see before I go into any other name. Let's touch Baba real quick. I think they're facing some sort of lawsuit. And as you can see here, they suffered pretty badly in the previous trading day. They were down about 13%. If it breaks below 211, that might be another possible move for it to the downside, as you can see. And that's one thing that I'm going to have on my watch. Although, once again, these are just some tickers that are on my watch. That does not mean I will trade them. There's not as much volume as I usually like there to be, so I might be on the sidelines. Another ticker that I'm taking a look at, this is something that we shared with some of our members that are in the gold or paid membership. We purchased a stock around 270 to around 320, as you can see. For a long time, I've been reviewing this in my market talks, where we saw some resistance right here around this 321 mark. We've been seeing some resistance. Finally, we got a nice pop and catalyst, and since then we've been seeing a nice rally. We finally saw it hit support. Hit resistance, which is now using it as support at that 660 level. So let's see how it performs tomorrow. If we can get a continuation, that'll be a nice sign there. But other than that, that's as far as UAVS. Apple, let's take a look at Apple. Apple has some resistance around that 134 mark. A break above 134, I think we're also going to continue to get some nice push to the upside. We might even test these previous highs of 137. And that's as far as an Apple goes, right? And I think last time I went over Apple, in the midday market talk, we discussed a wedge that it had formed, right? It was something around this nature right here. And we finally got a nice little breakout. We've been having some nice pops to the upside. Right now, we're seeing 134 to be a minor resistance. So if we get a break above that, I think we can see a nice push to 137, 138 area for Apple. This is another stock that I'm looking at, right? I mean, this kind of performs in reciprocation to Bitcoin. Not too aggressive on this, just have it on my watch. It's just been pushing up pretty nicely. If it breaks above 15.7, its previous high, I think we might look to maybe play some calls. But once again, these are just ideas. Something on my watch. Another one very similar is MARA. I don't think I put it up here. Anyways, moving on. NNDM, right? This is another stock. I think a lot of our other gold members had some time trading this as well. As you can see, we've been trading at around $4. It hit a nice high of 10. As of right now, it seems to be a little bit on the overextended side, although it is sitting at that 20-day moving average. 938, it seems to be some resistance around this area, as you can see here. If you do get a break above 9.5 and a retest of the previous high, I think we can see another push to the upside for NNDM. Now, as far as Blink is also a little overextended, but the stock continues to rally. This is another ticker that a lot of the gold members bought much cheaper, and I think someone took profit around this area right here, but the stock has been making a parabolic move to the upside. Aggressive sellers sitting at $54. If we can get a push above that, I think we can see some nice move to the upside. Another ticker I'm taking a look at is MARA. Once again, similar to Riot, it's had a nice parabolic move with Bitcoin recently. So I would like to see it potentially retest $14, $14.30, a break above that, maybe play some calls. But once again, maybe I would play it the week after or 2 weeks out. And the reason why is, once again, because there just isn't that much volume there for me this upcoming week. So let's just kind of see how it plays out. Another big name I'm looking at is Tesla. Very clear, very evident. We're seeing the $695, $700 to be some nice resistance. In a short-term trading, scalping, day trading view, I would say a break above 665. I would try to day trade it or scalp it to around 680, 695. But 695, I think, is the main level of resistance. That's 695 to 700. So if you get a break above that, I think we can see some more bullish activity. So that's that as far as Tesla. And let's see. You guys can start writing some tickers in the chat box if you want me to take a look at them. I'm probably not going to get to every single one, but I'll try to get to as many as I can. Also, please remember to give some sort of context so I know what exactly you want me to take a look at. I'm not just going to look at a ticker. So, give me a ticker, tell me why you want me to take a look at it, and then I'll look at it.
Dilaver.
Yes.
Quick question. So is there
Sure.
some sort of scanner that you use to pick these stocks, or like
I'm sorry?
like Finviz? Is there like Finviz like kind of scanner that you use to pick these stocks?
Hey,
Not
Danish.
necessarily.
Yeah, Danish,
Okay.
we use, we have Finbiz, we have a lot of other paid services that we use, right? And then when
Got it.
people like Delaware, right, they go through it. Some of them, Delaware has access, some of them others has access. But yes, we use
I've never
paid
been able to.
services.
No, I never have been able to understand Finviz, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, we use the paid services.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
But Delaware also has his own research also and watch list. Whenever he comes up with it, it's not like he's using only one tool alone. Okay. Right, Delaware, you can add anything else, that you think I'm
Yeah. So a lot of the tickers, the way I pick them, I look for stuff that has volume. I look for stuff that's volatile, something that I can obviously, make money off of the price movement. And also look for something that has a well-developed price history action, right? So, large cap companies, something that's liquid. So that's just my specific criteria. I don't specifically use a scanner. I do mainly, for those of you that have been with us for quite some time, know that, I mainly depend on technical analysis and I trade that way. But once again, I'm looking at the chat box. Once again, guys, please give me some sort of context with the ticker you want me to take a look at, and I will touch on it. So someone said,
Delaware, sorry, just a quick question on because you mentioned a few things that you are looking. What is your criteria for the volume? Because it's always give me a curiosity. How do we link volume, and what is the volume where you see it is more interest to you to look into it? Thank you.
Sure. Great question, but once again, let's keep the questions to a little bit minimum right now. The point of this Sunday Market Talk is to prepare you guys for the upcoming week. Just go over a few tickers, but I will answer your question very quickly. And it's a very good question, but it's a very broad topic we can go into. So the quickest way and the best way I can answer is it depends on what kind of stock you're looking at, the valuation of the company, what kind of volume is usually there, what kind of spikes of volumes that it have according to different events. So it takes a number of different things you have to look into, but it's a very broad topic I'd have to cover. So let's take a look at Boeing. Boeing, once again, bounced off that 203 level. As you can see, I have not really researched Boeing in quite some time. I think, as you guys see here, I have a lot of patterns open, so bear with me. We did finally get a break below that 20-day moving average. We did retest it, but we're trading below it. If any case scenario, we do continue to get a push to the downside. We do have that support level right here around that 203 level. I mean, the stock's sitting around 216, 217. So I think it has some support around 209, 210. So if it breaks below that, we might see some level support around that 203 level. Let me just go here. Moving on. Overstock. Yeah, so Overstock, I'm going to touch on Overstock real quick. I think Overstock has had a nice parabolic move to the upside. Yeah, so, during March lows, I think we hit a nice little low of 253. Stock rallied to 128. Anytime a stock does rally like this, it tends to potentially rally back down. As you can see here, we saw a hard drop right here, consolidation, break to the downside, and it's just kind of fading out. Now, this stock continues to bounce around this general area. There's no specific price point. It's just a general area where the stock has been bouncing, right? I would say right around here from this 49 to 55 level area, right? We're reapproaching that. So if we do potentially see the price hold around this $54, $55 mark, I wouldn't be too surprised if we kind of reapproach this consolidation phase right here. One common trend that I'm seeing with this stock is that after phases of consolidation, for example, right here, as you guys can see, we see hard rallies to the downside, right? We saw some consolidation right here. We get a push to the upside. Very similarly, we're kind of seeing some consolidation being built up here. So I would like to see this stock either bounce from here and retest this $69 mark, $70 mark. I don't know how likely that is. I'm not too familiar with the fundamentals of this company. So if you are looking, maybe consider this general area right here. There seems to be some demand around this area. Although if the price does not hold and it does dip a little lower below this demand area, we might see the sellers get a little bit more aggressive and the buyers get a little weaker. And the next level would be around that $40 mark. It's support. But once again, the stock has had a parabolic move to the upside, so just be a little careful. I personally, don't like to touch stocks like this, so that's my little take on it. Hope that answered your question. Etsy had a break and run towards 200. How does it? Sure, let's take a look at Etsy. So Etsy, let's kind of digest it a little bit more on the 4-hour chart. Once again, very similar. We're seeing some nice consolidation where we've been in a nice little advancing stage. Stock has been pushing up pretty nicely. It's been bouncing off this moving average. I just want to see if the stock is bouncing off the moving averages. A little on the overextended side. 198 seems to be some resistance. We saw some not too aggressive selling, but we did see a sell-off on, I believe, Thursday or Wednesday. I can't remember when this exactly was. On decent volume. Although what I'm constantly seeing is there seems to be some consolidation around this area, right? We saw a nice consistent uptrend for a few days, as you can see here. And then after that, we kind of just are being halted around this area, right? So this can either be a good sign or a bad sign. We see some support around, let me get my tool so you guys can see it. So we see some support generally around this area right here. So if it does bounce from 188, I think that's a potential bounce to retest, maybe stay in this range and consolidate and break. But if it does break below 188, I wouldn't be too surprised if it bounces off this 50-day moving average. So that's that as far as I want to, give me a second. Okay, so that's that. Can we look at ZM, please? Have staggered bias from 400 to should I stay invested? So once again, as far as, when people ask, should I stay invested? I try not to tell people exactly what to do. And the reason why is because I don't know everyone's risk tolerance, right? I think everyone has a different risk appetite. But what we're seeing with ZM is it's approaching a nice crucial level of support. What I would like to see it perform in a specific way from here, right? If we continue to break below 374, I would wait for it to break below 365. I would then play the stock to the downside. Now, if you're invested in this company around 400, 415, once again, I don't really know the fundamentals of this company. I'm just basing it off technical analysis. If we do get a break below this, I think there is some more room to the downside. I want to see if this stock does have some gaps to fill. Yep. So there's a gap that needs to be filled around 326. So that is something to be aware of. Although one thing that you can do to kind of offset your risk here is dollar cost averaging, right? So you can buy a little bit on each dip to kind of bring your average down if you are invested in this company a little bit on the long-term end. But that's as far as ZM goes. It's been kind of forming a nice little pattern here where the sellers are getting a little bit more aggressive on each spike to the upside. Buyers haven't been too aggressive. We've been seeing some nice push here. Going to see some low volume this upcoming week, so let's just be careful. And that's that as far as ZM. LAC has jumped from 9-ish to 12-ish. What is the resistance levels for this ticker? Sure, let's take a look at LAC. So right off the bat, this kind of seems to be a new stock, or no? Let me see. No, this stock has been around for quite some time. Just recently started making some nice push to the upside. I would say the overall resistance right now, I mean, it's really hard to kind of generalize this resistance in one specific point, although this specific candlestick looks very bullish. This past week, I think we saw some strong spikes in volume. As you saw, the stock, you said, went from 9 to 12. It did break above a previous level of resistance, which is 12.5. If the stock price can hold above 12.5 and then continue to push over 13 and 14, I wouldn't be too surprised if we kind of get a retest of this general area here, right? Generally what happens is stocks push to the upside with strong volume, and then they start slowly fading away on low volume. And this right here is a potential indication that the stock does have some more fuel in it, and it can push to the upside. So I would wait for it to break above 12.5 to see if it has some more fuel. Above 17 bucks, I think it has a little bit more fuel in it as well, depending on how strong the volume is. So that's as far as LAC. The resistance points have NKLA at 18. Should I hold? Once again, similar explanation to the previous ticker as far as whether people should hold or not. I don't know everyone's risk analysis, so that's that. Wafer dropped big last 2 days. What is your thoughts? Sure, let's take a look at Wafer. Also, try to write the tickers. I don't really know every company by heart like that. So let's take a look at on the 4-hour chart. So we've seen some aggressive drops to the downside. Let me see.
Is it a weekly chart?
This is the hourly chart. So what we're seeing is we saw an aggressive sell-off. The stock is being supported at this previous level of support at 251. If you do get a break below that, I wouldn't be too surprised if we hit 233. This seems to be a general area of consolidation before the stock rallied. So the stock can either bounce from 251 and push to the upside again. I don't know exactly what the catalyst was here. Although if we break below 251, I wouldn't be too surprised if we start sinking below around this area as well, as far as Wafer goes. Pin's been moving up. Maybe we'll have a great Christmas season, potentially. Let's take a look at Pin's technical analysis. Very, very choppy, right? It hasn't really had any clear direction. It's slowly treading up. It has not really made any significant moves to the upside. So, I mean, this stock is not really, performing any parabolic moves. We did get a nice little push out of this little wedge here to 75, but even then the sellers were very aggressive. So what that shows to me is if the stock does, in any case scenario, push to 75, and if we do get a break through 75, that might be a catalyst for the stock to continue rallying to the upside. But volume seems to be fairly consistent, but it's fairly low, right? I mean, we saw a nice spike here, but we haven't seen any significant volume on the daily chart. Resistance around 75, 50, 75, 76 area. So push above that, I think we can see some nice upside. RMG has a lot of gains last week. They have a stockholder meeting tomorrow to discuss a merger, and we may get another rally. Yeah, potentially, right? Anytime a company has a potential catalyst or something like an earnings event, stocks do tend to go higher into those. This stock is just going through the roof. They're fairly new, I believe, as far as this parabolic move. The stock was trading around $10. They recently hit 37. So, volume is staying strong. We're seeing some nice push to the upside. We've got a nice, strong day of volume here, although we did see some selling pressure around 37. To break above 37, once again, very simple. Break above that, I think we could see some upside. We still do look pretty bullish, right? Buyers are still in control. Although it does obviously seem a little overextended when a stock makes a parabolic move. If you haven't invested around this area, it gets very risky and very tricky to invest up here as well. So just keep that in mind. 37 is some resistance around that area as well. Although if there is some positive catalyst as far as a merger, I think that's going to obviously push the stock up. Keep an eye on PRSP. Okay, M&A to acquire. Might be a few months if it does happen. Talks are in place internally. Sure. Let's take a look at so, as far as, these stocks that are merging and whatnot, these are, specifically news driven, right? I mean, it's hard to do technical analysis on these, but thank you for giving me that cue. I'll definitely add this to my watch list. We're seeing some overall resistance around 25.79. Choppy, you know, not really any clear direction, kind of almost forming a nice little bull flag. So if we can break out of this consolidation phase or this little wedge, whatever you want to call it, and if it tests 25, I want to see if it breaks above it. We might even see it fill this gap upstairs here. So right around this area here or right here, right? We can see it fill this gap around that $29, $28 mark. So that's that. I'm going to go over a few more tickers. I don't want to spend the entire night, even though I could and I would love to. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to go over a few more tickers. Sorry if I didn't get to every single one here. If you haven't viewed, please once again give me some context. Been slowly moving out. Been slowly moving after Slack buyout. Yeah, so let's take a look at Baba. I think Baba we touched on slowly, but once again, we're seeing some support around this area right here. This 252 area. If we do get a break below 252, I'm sorry, what am I saying? Brain fart. Right here, we went over it in the beginning. We did see some support around 211, and as you can see, just look at the volume, right? I mean, we saw 10 million shares, and the next day we saw 141 million shares that were traded. Stock did dip low to 211, although buyers were still present and pushed it back up to 222, and that's where it's sitting right now. So let's see how it performs tomorrow. I mean, once again, we have low volume. I don't know how well this company is going to perform with the entire lawsuit and whatnot going on in China. So that's that. NEO we already touched on. CRM, let's take a look at CRM. Okay, let's see what we got here. So I mean, this stock is, you know, I don't really see any clear direction with this stock, right? And anytime that happens, I try to stray away from that stock, right? What we're seeing is, you know, stock either gaps up or gaps down. Right now, what we saw was there's a gap here. As you can see, it gap below, we finally filled it. So, you know, 218, I think is a good area to potentially buy this. Anytime gaps are filled, the stocks kind of continue from there. Also, we are approaching this key level of resistance around that 233 to 235. And it's also a key level of an exponential moving average. So if we do get a pop above that with the potential volume, I think we can see a nice continuation to the upside. But once again, the stock, you know, one trend that I'm seeing is from time to time, it gaps up, although it has more aggressive pullback. So as an investor, you just have to be cognizant of that and know what you're getting yourself into when you trade something like this or invest in something like this, right? Just be prepared for days like this. And if you're long term, that might be good for you. You can continue to buy each dip, but just keep that in mind. How do you balance between technicals and fundamentals? You know, that's a very good question, and that can go into depth. But I would say it depends on what your strategy is. You have to find a system that works for you as a trader, and you have to be familiar with. You just have to do your homework. You have to be familiar with what kind of tickers you like to trade. And you know, one thing that we also provided here at UFA, if you are new, is you know, classes, right? We teach technical analysis, we teach basic, we teach advanced, we also teach pro. We teach basic stock market classes and options classes. So, you know, the moment you begin to do your homework and educate yourself, it's going to kind of develop into a snowball where you're able to balance these technicals and fundamentals. Definitely practice and experience goes a long way. But guys, thank you so much for joining. That's all for the tickers I'm going to go over tonight. I'm sorry if I was not able to get to your ticker. I'm going to hand it back to Mushi.
You guys can hear me. Thank you, Delavar. So guys, what I'm going to do, I know that some of these stickers Delavar shared, but one of the things I had, Baba Delavar touched Square. Did you touch it, Square, Delavar?
No, I didn't.
You did not. Okay. Yes. Can you see any other questions people posted, Delavar, while I'm getting the chart ready? I saw that there are some couple more questions. See if you can take any of them.
Sure. All right, let's see. Can I go through Amazon? Can we go through Amazon, implied volatility ticker? I'm not too sure if you can clarify in the chat box what you want me to take a look at. It's a little confusing. Eating premiums every time. I'm not too sure what you mean if you want to clarify there. Is it good to buy T by Zoom at present levels around? Is it good to buy Zoom around 3 cents? So anytime you look to invest in a company long term, I think it's good to do technical analysis. But what's more important is to do the fundamental analysis and see, you know, what the balance sheet of the company is looking like, what's the outlook, and a bunch of other stuff. So it's I can't give you a yes or no answer whether it's good to buy a specific company long term. What else do we have here? Let me see if I haven't touched on something. Baba, we touched on already. And Neo has Neo Day on January 9th. Can we see the stock rallying based on anticipation? So once again, yeah, very similar to what I said earlier. Anytime these stocks do tend to anytime stocks do have some sort of catalyst, you know, anytime there is some sort of uncertainty, like an earnings event or you know, a Neo Day, and see how the stock can potentially perform on that day. You know, the stock tends to go higher into the event. So I personally like to trade the price action that's going into the event. And then I don't like to, you know, anticipate what's going to happen, right? I mean, anything can happen. Sometimes there's a positive news, but the stock still goes down. So, you know, the way I would play it is I would play the stock going higher into January 9th. So that is potentially something that can happen. Doesn't happen all the time, but once again, that is something that can happen.
Dilawar, a quick question. I noticed one thing. I was watching that what is the after hour, especially on Thursday, after hour stock movements. And I noticed Lee was being bought huge. Apple was bought 1.4 million stock after hours. Is it something that we can based on Monday planning that, okay, these are the huge buying or selling at after hours, so there may be a potential volume up on Monday?
I mean, that is something potentially that can happen, but although you have to understand that, you know, these are large companies, right? These are trillion-dollar companies. So if we're seeing 1 million shares or, you know, $1 million worth of stock being traded within a short period of time, we shouldn't really allow that to, you know, kind of, it shouldn't really dictate anything, right? I mean, at most, what I recommend is you get access to, if you are a paid member, you get access to the unusual options flow sheet. And there you can take a look at, you know, where big money is being put, right? You can see where hedge funds, pension funds, wealth managers are buying certain stocks. And I think that is going to give you a better indication of what the stock is doing instead of looking at, you know, a few minutes of what after hours of a stock. So that's that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Let's see. Possible base technical analysis.
How do you know who is buying stocks? The big players or small players?
So, so there's a number of things that you can do, right? I mean, you theoretically don't really know, right? It never says, you know, like, for example, Rafiq bought X amount of shares, or, you know, it's never going to say Ray Dalio or Bridgewater Associates bought this amount of sale, right? So it's never going to be that way, but what you can look at is a dollar amount, right? One thing that you can use is something called the dark pool data, right? Dark pool is essentially a large pool. It's more of a secretive exchange used by large hedge fund managers. Also, I think someone's mic is on. Just mute yourself. I hear some feedback from the mic. But you can get access to, once again, the unusual option sheet. It has a lot of information as far as the dark pool data, and it shows you, you know, $100 million worth of trades that are being put in, $60 million, $3 million. So these are a lot of people. These are not retail traders, right? These are people who are trading, you know, most likely for institutions. That's one thing. The second thing I would say is, once again, get access to the unusual options flow sheet. You can be a paid member and get access to that. And there's something called unusual options activity, right? There's people, you know, most retail traders are not buying $100,000 worth of options for one specific position, right? That's, once again, most likely going to be an institution, or $1 million or $2 million in just an option. So, you know, that kind of gives you more of a better understanding, once again, of, you know, whether it's a retail trader or someone that's most likely an institution. Just look at the dollar amount.
You guys see my desktop, right? I think someone was asking, how do you know this? This is something as I mentioned earlier, with the people who is becoming a paid member with us. You have access to this sheet. It's a real time. When market opens, this data gets populated. Then you'll see that in the market sentiment, you'll see the options coming in, or real-time options, a dark pool, you see that this data is already coming in real time, and this data you are going to be able to see it. This come from something like paid services, and we do not rely on one paid services. As I mentioned, that our monthly cost is about over $2,000. Another one is like in here, Benzinga, similar to it, but sometimes some service picks up the data, some service don't. So we compare those data whenever we're looking at, okay, I see that people are buying something like, let's say Baba. A lot of people are selling Baba, a lot of people buying Baba, but sometimes because of the dark pool, it's all anonymous. You cannot tell who is doing what transaction. They might be using different exchange. So when they use those exchange, one picks up, the other doesn't pick up. At the end of the day, we are able to see the transaction happen. Then as an investor, and we let others know, hey, this is happening. If you want to keep it, you can keep it, or the members who is part of with us, with the gold members, we'll give them a signal when we know something that's happening based on our research and based on our experience. Okay. That's how you know, but there is no like as Delaware mentioned, there is nothing you now out there that tells you exactly who they are doing, is this buying or selling. That based on experience, that you figure out is the what type of volume when those transaction happens. Based by looking at the volume, it's a buy or sell, then you kind of tell this is happening. People are selling, or this is people are buying. So some of the things I wanted to share, that's one of the things that you can take a look at it. Silver. If you look at a silver, I'm looking at a daily chart. On the daily chart, you can see the silver is already close to 23. At some point, silver did touch 28, 27. This is a good price. As you can see that if silver, this is not for short term. Long term, the gold is already went so high. Silver, GLV, couple others, they are going to go higher if at some point. And also, these are good hedge that you can keep it in your portfolio. So if silver goes down more, keep adding couple silvers in your portfolio. It's going to help you. The other one, and that upside, like the upside, you can see that it can go higher, 24, then 24, 25, it can go much higher. I'm not saying how, but if it goes downside, it's at 23, 22. Just don't buy all. Slowly keep adding some of those position. Okay. The other thing I wanted to Square. Look at Square. Square did a very good, like it came back up here. Now slowly is going down. Can it go down more? Yeah, by looking at the trend, yeah, it can go down. But if it goes down more this week, you see the trend, so keep adding it. This is a stock that they all also announced that with the Bitcoin friendly and a couple other things that they are adding. Long time is, if you look at the pattern, look at that, from here it came down, slowly going up, coming down, up, down. You see that now it's like rising pattern. Now tomorrow or this week, last 2 days it went down, but you'll see that tomorrow's news that hopefully market is going to like the currently news that okay, president signed this bill, that stimulus bill, and then people are going to get that check. Hopefully market is going to be respond positively. When this type of thing happens, this one is typically does well. So it has a good chance that it can come back up at a 240 and above range. Okay, now it's 228 range. If it goes down on the downside like 18 to 19, it's a good stock to have for long term. Those who is looking to put your money in financial services sector. Okay, and let me see any other one I'm looking to do. Okay, FRS. Okay.
What about FedEx? I think it's fall down after earnings, right?
We're going to look at this stock. We usually do not let people know this small cap, and especially penny stock. Any stock is below $5 to me is a penny stock. But some of the stock like this, kind of keep an eye in your radar. Those who is looking, see what happens. Look, last few days, this is like crazy growth. It happened, and it's now shifting. Can it go down more? We do not know. We'll see, but keep an eye on this one. All right, that's something that's all I can share on this one.
This is an ideal candidate for pump and dump.
Actually, yes, I would go with that pump and dump. However, there are something that I cannot talk about. That that all I just watch this company. That's all I can talk. Um, FedEx. Let's see the FedEx. This is those who is following this company. This is a great look at that. Where it was FedEx before earnings. It was it just since earning it just like bad luck. It's going down just because they did not give good guidance. Due to not giving the guidance, that is like they're getting punished. But this stock is already see that it's going down more and more. Can it go down more? Yeah, with this pattern it can go down more. However, those who is looking long term, this is a very good stock for the long term. Because of the corona, that you see that people, Amazon, all the other retail, all the services, e-commerce, they have to rely on FedEx and UPS. So this is going to be turning around. It's going to be go over 300. It's just matter of time when it's ready to turn around. So like many of you may already have it, and those who is with us, that we are already telling when it goes down, keep slowly adding few of this is position, okay, on a stock. It's a good stock long term. It's going to pay off. All right. And then
Mushi, the previous ticker was FRSX, is it? Frank Rod.
FRSX.
Is that what the previous one that you
Yes,
were
I
looking at?
believe so. And Neo.
Okay, thanks.
And look at Neo. Neo, those who is Neo, that in a EV market, look at it had a last 3 days it came down. Neo, and as it came down long term, it's a good company, and it's a good company. You guys already know what's happening in China. It's going to turn around, come to 50. Is this going to be 57? We do not know. But can it touch 50? Yes, it will. It's just a matter of time when Neo is going to turn around. If it does more slowly, keep adding. Neo, just watch this week, Neo, this week, next week, you'll see that Neo is going to turn around, is going to do well. If it does down, just add some of this for your long, midterm and long-term positions, okay? I think I'm looking at the time, and I'm going to pause right now here. This is what I wanted to share. Again, those who is new with us, you'll see that today's recording and many I'm going to be sharing on our YouTube. Just go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of training. And then on the meetups that you're going to see all the events coming up. But tomorrow is going to be real estate one, because of overwhelming and the new request that we did not put it on there, but I'll see if I can go post it on meetups. But tomorrow 9 p.m. we will do it. Those who is in our the live channel, there will share the details. And that crypto, this Tuesday is going to be cryptocurrency. Some of you already know that Shamoon is going, this time Shamoon is going to be doing, and we have another person on Zoom is going to be also maybe supporting it. Else next week on Zoom is going to do. Okay, talk about crypto. That's all we have to share. Any questions so far? Things what we covered, and I know that we have a lot of new guests came in and kind of overwhelming. Was it helpful so far what we shared? Are you guys with us?
I'm still here. I would definitely say yes,
Yes.
it's definitely helpful. And I'm looking forward to future sessions as well.
Thank you. And join us in the live channel. Those who is new, we do not want you just go start putting your money and start trading. Please join us. We have a free membership there. During the free membership, we share daily one ticker at least you are going to get. But with that ticker, do whatever platform you are using, brokerage you are using, make sure they have paper trading. Paper trading, especially Think or Swing, TD TD has a paper trading, also something called Webull. They also have a paper trading, meaning that you can trade with this ticker with the simulated money, and you're able to see if you make money or lose money and get some experience. While you're doing it, at least you can ask us question, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? During the day, what we do, that we support those who is with us, that you'll see that in our channel here, you have a free stock tips that we will answer pretty much most of your questions, and if not, many of others experienced traders, they share that information with you. All right, so this way get used to understand that those lingos or terms or jargons that in trading world we use, that this way you get familiar with it and you don't lose your money, and then get couple weeks free experience, and once you feel comfortable, then put your money. Okay, and at the end of the day, you need some reliable service where you are able to get some information, if not with us, any place else. But do some research. Please do not go in the market with a thing like your friend told you to buy this stock, or somebody just texted you, hey, buy this, is going to go up. We have over 500 people that in our paid, and over 5,000 members in our community. But one thing we constantly seeing, people say, oh, the moment I buy a ticket, buy my stock, and it's just going down and going down and going down. The next thing we find out, how did you decide, why you should buy it? Oh, because my friend told me, or somebody said in the tweet, or somebody said this, right? You do not want to be victim of this. Just take some time. There are always plenty of opportunity you will be able to get to make money. But learning is, you do not want to learn hard way. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much. And if you decide to join, you're welcome to join with us. Like we said on the website, or if you go on urbanhood.org, you are going to see that membership. It has chart all the differences. You're welcome to try any of them, and just let us know. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Again, everybody, I remind you that this coming week is going to be short week. It's always good that keep an eye on your risk. You do not have to trade. If you want, you can always stay sideline, enjoy your time with your family. 2021 is going to be a great year. So let's learn together and make money. All right. Thanks, everyone. And Delavar and others who helped out, thank you so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow, midday.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Good
Mushi.
night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Visit our website, UrbanHood.org, and join our community at meetup.com and look for financial freedom for you. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.